From the Lower Colorado River Authority, this is Wavelength.
The creation of this new river authority will help electrify rural Texas.
And so today, we gather here to dedicate this mighty structure, the Cannondale.
This has been a great organization for 70 years, and it's going to be a great organization for a long time to come.
Hi everyone, welcome to the July 2006 edition of Wavelength. Water. We turn on the tap and it's there. We often take it for granted until we have to do without it. That was the situation for thousands of residents and businesses in western Travis and northern Hays counties early on the morning of June 13th. Those affected customers received their water from LCRA's Western Travis County Regional Water System. The outage was caused when this electrical transformer, which provides power to these massive pumps, failed. The pumps draw water from Lake Austin and deliver it to this treatment plant near Highway 71 on Bee Caves Road. With no new water coming into the system, storage tanks quickly began to drain.
LCRA responded in a very strong and team-like manner, with many different parts of LCRA stepping in to help solve the problem. One of the excellent things that happened not only was the response to get the equipment and the physical facilities in place, but also was the response to address customer issues and concerns.
LCRA made arrangements to supply emergency drinking water to area nursing homes, daycare centers, churches, and a veterinary clinic. LCRA opened its telephone hotline to provide information directly to residents, while LCRA.org was updated constantly with the latest developments.
It stretches from out on 71 West.
General Manager Joe Beal met with the news media Tuesday afternoon.
I think one of the most important things that has happened here today with this situation is the way in which so many different organizations have pitched in to solve the problem. We have an emergency interconnect right now with the City of Austin. We have an emergency interconnect with MUD number 4, another local district out here. We have an emergency interconnect with WCID number 21. In fact, these interconnects are part of the reason why the system is not completely dry right now.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
LCRA also enlisted the help of HEB and the Red Cross to provide emergency drinking water to area residents.
We have our truck, came in, and we're actually giving everybody who comes up 2 gallons of water and letting them know about the situation, about Bee Caves water and so forth, and that they are going to try to get the water running tomorrow.
Meanwhile, replacement equipment started to arrive on scene where LCRA crews and contractors were working in the 100-degree afternoon heat. Neighbors were informed about the status of the project throughout the evening.
The hazards associated with the work is going to be moving the heavy equipment down, using the dozer to tail it in down there to help hold it down.
As always, safety is the #1 priority on any LCRA job. The biggest challenge of this operation was to get this huge crane into position at the bottom of this steep, narrow, winding road. It took about 6 hours to move all of the equipment down the hill, and crews worked through the night to restore service. Once in position, the emergency generator brought one of the 6 million gallon per day pumps back to life, while LCRA electrical crews completed installation of the new transformer.
I think all resources that LCRA has been put out over here, and we've seen a lot of people come through here, and this has been a pretty much big team effort of all of LCRA, all departments coming through here and helping out on this effort here.
I've been here for 22 years, and I've worn hats on the electric side, I've worn hats on the water side, and this is what I think is the best time for me that I've seen everybody come together. It's a great feeling, and it's good to know that we don't have to do it all ourselves.
By 3 p.m. on Wednesday, all pumps were operational. Some 8,000 jugs of water had been given out to residents, and 1,500 calls were answered by hotline volunteers.
Overall, as long as we're providing information to the customers about what's going on, they really, by and large, are pretty understanding of the overall situation. the important thing is to keep them informed and updated and to be accurate in what you're telling them.
Events like this one only reinforce how important it is for all of us to conserve water in our daily lives.
This month on Wavelength, we're starting a new feature. We'll look at employees and events that exemplify LCRA's foundation values: safety, customer service, environmental leadership, employee focus, and diversity.
It was about 8 o'clock at night when the accident happened. It was dark, and I'd just gotten outside of town and gotten up to highway speed when a vehicle, oncoming truck, slowed down, like he was about to turn, and instead of waiting till I passed, right when I got to the intersection, he turned in front of me. I had absolutely no time to react. I didn't even have a chance to hit my brakes before I just hit him broadside. I didn't realize exactly what had happened. It took me a minute to realize, hey, I've been in a car accident, and it's a pretty bad car accident. The force of the seatbelt catching me knocked the wind out of me. I believe my nose and eye hit the steering wheel, and it broke my nose and cut my eye under my eyebrow. After the impact, the gentleman who turned in front of me was getting me out of my vehicle. The first thing he said was, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was talking on the radio with my friend, and I just turned right in front of you." He just had a momentary lapse of judgment because he was distracted. I saw my truck just then a boom, and it burst into a ball of flames. I would tell my friends and coworkers two things. I realized that because I had the seatbelt on, it saved my life, and if I didn't have it on, I would have definitely flown out of my vehicle in his. And the second thing is that talking on a cell phone or a radio distracts you from driving. You do need all your focus on driving. I will let the phone ring and call someone back when I get to a safe place to talk, or I wait till my destination, and a lot of times your destination is only a couple minutes away anyway, so I'll wait to make a phone call. I also think to myself how fortunate and blessed I am to have survived an accident like that.
When the Texas sun beats down on you with its full summer fury and you retreat to the sanctuary of air-conditioned comfort, you can say a special thank you to the folks at LCRA's Generation Desk.
The off-peak train to high of about 82.
Employees here at Wholesale Power Services forecast and plan ahead for how much electricity will be needed to meet customer demand each day. They have to consider changing weather conditions, temperature, fuel prices, and of course, what LCRA generating units are available. They buy and sell power on the open market and provide standby services to ERCOT, which helps maintain reliability of the electric grid across the state. In May, a brand new state-of-the-art facility went into operation at Sim Gideon Power Plant in Bastrop that can duplicate every function performed at the primary Gen Desk in Austin. It's called the Co-Prime Gen Desk.
Concepts that we've used new technology to do this is we have full-time high-definition video conference so that the operator on this side can stay in contact with the operator at the other location. And in addition to that, we've used some new telephone technology so that to the outside world it's transparent. The same phone numbers work, they ring at both places at the same time, so the folks can still work as a team. And the way the shifts will work, we'll actually have one here, one there, or two in Bastrop or two here. It should be transparent to the outside world with the technology that we put in place.
This is a joint project between Fuel and Energy Risk Management and Sim Gideon Power Plant. It fulfills an ERCOT requirement that electric utilities have a backup gen desk.
Do you have an update on the Gideon 2 transducer issue?
Yeah, I had got an update.
This is an around-the-clock operation with gen desk employees working 12-hour shifts. 6 of the 10 shift employees live in Bastrop and Fayette counties. They no longer have a daily commute into Austin.
I get about an hour and a half extra at home every day. It saves me 45 minutes both ways. And also it saves on the gas, the wear and tear on the car. I love it.
As far as the employees, what we're hearing is they really enjoy the working environment. They enjoy, obviously, what we were trying to accomplish, and that is giving them some time back in their day from the commute and being less stressful in their job. So from all those issues, those elements, it's been a win-win.
When Hurricane Rita took dead aim for the Texas coast and headed straight for the mouth of the Colorado River back in September 2005, LCRA immediately went into emergency preparedness mode.
That's something we need to warn people on.
Rita took a turn to the east, sparing Central Texas, and LCRA shifted to a support role for communities and utilities hit hard by the storm. But that exercise left big questions about what would happen in the worst-case scenario.
And so what we quickly discovered was that we really were not very well prepared to know what to do if a hurricane was going to come in. And then we determined that we really didn't know what the impact of that hurricane would be in our service area. And so we found it pretty difficult to plan like we would plan for a flood or plan for some other emergency that we might have, because we have experienced those kinds of emergencies recently. What we are doing now is taking the time to learn what a hurricane would really do to us, predict what it would do, and then develop plans for how we would handle the inevitable hurricane that's finally going to hit us.
Hurricane Carla made landfall near Matagorda Bay in 1961 as a Category 4 storm with wind gusts of 175 miles per hour. Carla's eye passed over Bastrop County before turning to the east. Historically, this storm comes closest to the scenario we are preparing for today.
So we're looking at a scenario somewhat similar to Katrina and Rita, where for days and maybe even two weeks or so, life is not going to be anywhere near normal. We're going to have a hard time with transportation and communication. We're going to have a hard time finding food and potable water. So, in an extreme circumstance, if for a major storm were to come through here and linger over the area for several days, life will not be anything like what we know it at this time.
We are working with them to make sure that they are in good shape so that...
The Enterprise Risk Management Team and the Emergency Management Team are leading the effort to improve LCRA's hurricane readiness and response.
You can choose the area that you're interested in looking at, and go to different maps.
Telephone hotline volunteers are receiving additional training to help them deal with these special circumstances.
I think the best thing we can teach new hotline members is to, first of all, try to be empathetic. Try to put yourself in that person's shoes. If you were experiencing a flood, if you were experiencing an emergency, it's very personal. It's very serious to you. We want to give them accurate information.
Everything focuses on the hurricane, the event that's out there.
Key personnel from all across the company participated recently in this hurricane tabletop exercise, which actually reviewed response and procedures from every business unit.
What this drill does is to test those plans, to take a look at what we think we're going to do in the event of an emergency, and then to have other people challenge our assumptions or ask questions about how we're going to respond in an event. It helps you find the weaknesses in the plan when you're not in the real stress of the event.
If a hurricane hits our basin, we want everyone to know how they contribute to getting ready for it in the 36 to 48 hours leading up to the hurricane. And then when it hits, we want them to know how they are going to support either the effort by being a first responder or by supporting a first responder. It's critical. The event changes over time. You are responding in one way when you're getting ready, and you're responding in a different way after it hits.
The other critical element of this effort is to have every employee prepared for such emergencies at home.
The thing that we have to understand is that the responsibility for planning for us and our families is ours. It's not government's responsibility to take care of us. It's not the American Red Cross or the Salvation Army or any of the faith-based groups that are going to take care of us. It's us. Because it's only as you take care of you and your family then that you're able to focus your efforts on taking care of other folks.
The American Red Cross recommends that every home prepare a family disaster supply kit with such items as medication, non-perishable food, and water to last up to 72 hours. Find out more about protecting your family during an emergency at redcross.org.
Beginning this month, July 2006, Wavelength and the LCRA News will be distributed on an alternating basis. Wavelength in July, LCRA News in August, and so on. Our goal is to use these communication tools, along with Monday Morning and Inside LCRA on the web, to keep you, the employees, better informed about news and events that affect all of us at LCRA. That's it for this edition of Wavelength. We look forward to seeing you again next time.